welcome to Living Magically. I'm your host, Michelle Orwick, and this week we have the beginning of the eclipse portal. And it starts out right here, right now, with the 9-9 portal. And what does that mean? Because it seems like a lot to be wrapping your brain around, but essentially, the energy right now is one of wholeness and completion. The 9 is the number of completion. And whether you're listening to this live or whether you're listening to this as a recording, even later in the week, the 9 energy is going to be alive all the way for the rest of this month. So this is like that opening of the 9-9. And you'll see it hit again on the 18th of September on the other side of the eclipse. So this is that place where you're thinking, what is it that I need to complete? What is it that I need to feel whole? What do I know in my heart is going to make me feel whole and complete? So that's the energy. You're going to see some energy of letting go. Even though it's that new moon going to the bigger full moon this week, where we're just under a week away from the full moon eclipse that's coming up in Pisces. We've passed the new moon and we're now in that building up of the full moon energy that's a week away. We're in that halfway mark between the two. We're seeing this new energy, which is growing, and normally this would be about starting something. And I am going to be really clear with all the crazy retrogrades and all the different things that are happening, there is more of a finishing energy. So start all your incomplete projects and do as much as you can to wrap up the details. Do things that maybe allow you to let go of old identities. And so sometimes that is the completion, right? That you need to finish something so you can be the next version of you. And that's this piece of wholeness and completion. What do you need to do and have and be and experience to feel whole and to feel complete? And that's really my theme for the 9-9. And you'll feel that for 3 more days. So while you might be listening to this on Tuesday, the peak of it is here on Monday. And if you're watching this, there's still a little bit of time to come to my activation that we're going to do at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time to claim that activation portal. So it is online. So anybody can join us from anywhere in the world for the Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock activation time. In the meantime, think of this week as a steady build toward that eclipse. And an eclipse in Pisces is what we're going to have coming. And this is a week to open the roads, clear the path. In fact, I just had a beautiful client who asked me, what kind of candle magic would you be doing right now? And I said, I'd be doing road opener candles. I'd be doing anything that removes obstacles. I would be doing uncrossing work. And what does that mean? That would mean clearing. So you're clearing your energy field. You're clearing your old beliefs. You're removing your own resistance to your greatness. That's really important right now, is that a lot of us have somehow feel like we've lost a little bit of our power, lost a little bit of our magic. And I went through this for a couple of days where I wasn't feeling the magic. And so it's time to reclaim that. It's time to do whatever kind of self-love you need. For the most part, this isn't about the collective. This isn't about you doing something for someone else. This is about doing something for you. This is a very personal eclipse cycle. A lot of times the eclipses are going to hit outside of you. and it's going to be about the how you relate to the world. It's Pisces. So you're going to be looking at what is your emotions. How does everything make you feel? Do you love yourself? Do you have a connection to your own divinity? Do you have a connection to your heart? And of course, we're in Virgo. So this next week and a half, we are all the way till, well, really 2 weeks now, about 12 more days until the 21st. You're going to have the energy still be in Virgo. So this is about processes, creating systems, making good choices and good habits that are going to support your self-love. So it's literally that time frame where what is it that you're going to do to reiterate how important your own self, your self-love, your self-assurance, your self-actualization is going to be for you. And how do you want to feel? This Pisces moon that's coming up with the eclipse is going to be about how do you want to feel in the world? How do you want to feel about yourself? How do you want to make an impact from an inward place to an outward place? So yes, I realize that my Pisces are getting really, really activated right now. And it's anyone who is ready to make that big quantum leap. I always see a full moon eclipse with the solar eclipse second, because if you don't know this, every eclipse has at least two. You either have a lunar eclipse followed by a solar eclipse, or a solar eclipse followed by a lunar eclipse. And sometimes you even have a third. But in this case, we have a lunar eclipse, which is shutting down this crazy cycle we've had all summer long. It's finishing all these things. So 9 is the number of completion, endings and new beginnings, because anytime you have an ending, you have a new beginning. So we'll be in this portal all the way through this lunar eclipse, and then ending a couple of days later on the 18th. So what you're doing is, what are you completing? What are you finishing to be complete, to feel whole? How do you want to feel? And what does that look like? Remember, you are a spark of the divine. The divine lives with you. It lives in you. It sees out your eyes. It hears through your ears. It speaks through your mouth. And it takes action through you. So you are the miracle and you are the magic. And this is a time to remember that. Remember who you are and how you want to be perceived in the world, and take action steps toward that. And if you do that, you're going to see this time be a major, major gift. However, it is a little bit crazy out there in the world. There's places and placements of all kinds of outer planets that are moving. And when this happens, we're changing identities. This whole rest of the year, the third quarter and fourth quarter of all the way to the end of 2024, you're going to be in this karmic cycle of shifting and changing. And in that, it's a becoming, and it's going to be about stepping into your full power. And that'll happen through this whole season with all of these planets that are retrograde, all of these planets that are making sharp conjunctions and T-squares. You have right now the planet of Mercury, your planet of communication, coming into Virgo. And with that, I'm going to see you creating systems. You want to, maybe there's a better way. This is a great time to rethink your TikTok and your Instagram and your Facebook and all of your social media platforms. It's a great time to look around and say, what are the systems of what I'm saying and being and sharing to the world? How am I sharing my story? And it's a time for change, right? It isn't necessarily to do better, to just do more. I really want to encourage you that it isn't about doing more sharing. It's about sharing the right message. It's about maybe getting really clear on what you're doing and what you're telling other people you're doing and how you're telling people what you're doing. So it's big energy, and it's going to go this entire month, where this is a time to recalibrate, reorganize, restore your faith in yourself. And maybe if you've had a misunderstanding, it's a good time to show how well someone can trust you. And we're going to see this period of time from the lunar eclipse to that new moon eclipse on the 2nd of October be a liminal in between of massive change. So this is kind of that little bit of deciding what you're going to change before you make the action steps of changing. Although you can start taking action. It never hurts. Whatever you dream, whatever you feel, take a little bit of action step. So if your heart's been really wanting something, now would be the time to do something about that, to take action. And I think it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of big transits coming in for this election season. So really get clean in your heart about who you are and what you stand for. And it's not just in elections, but in every area of your life. Are you going to stand up for yourself? Are you going to stand in your power? Are you going to own this energy and how you present to the world? So I think we're going to be presenting ourselves differently in the next 30 days. That's definitely what this eclipse portal and this portal between 9/9 and 10/10 feels like, is the liminal in between of completion and finishing. And then there's an eclipse in between. And then you have a new moon eclipse on October 2nd, right before you get the 10/10 activation, which is a 2. So you'll have an eclipse, a solar eclipse on the 2nd with an activation just a week later on 10/10, which will also have a 2 energy. So it'll have that new beginning of being in the structure of holding your own, being powerful in the world. And 2 has an energy of balance. So even though it's a new beginning, it's almost like you've already started, but this is the stage of the new beginning of doing. We've been in the thinking and the recalibrating, and we're finishing up the letting go cycle. And really, as we hit this time frame, we're going to be in the doing, the getting, the taking action, and the change cycle. So you're going to see this change really, really come in strong with this October 2nd new moon. And it's going to go for an entire season. We're going to be in really big transformative butterfly level change for a good year. 2025 is going to be really, really interesting. And so this end of this year, you're going to see a lot of growth for yourself. So what are you putting into play and into action? That's what you're going to see right now. So be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others, be really clear about your communication. And one last little piece of advice that I'm going to give you that could really, really, really help. Can I say really one more time? Could be really very important to you is do not take action or speak until you've had a little bit of time to think about it. So this could be with purchasing something. This could be with signing a contract. This could be with if someone says something and you want to snap right out at them, take a minute and evaluate and say it the way you want it to be said and the way that they need to hear it. I'm not saying don't take action. In fact, I am actually encouraging action. I'm inviting you to take a pregnant pause first. So not like Mercury retrograde, where you don't want to take action. This time frame is about making a little bit of a pause before you take action or before you speak it into being, so you know that you have clarity and you're being understood. So you don't want to snap out and be in that place of reactive mode. In fact, the wise master is going to sit for a moment, feel it in their heart, and say it in a way that the person that they're trying to explain it to is going to understand it best. So it isn't so much about you understanding. That's the first part, where you're pausing, understanding what you really want to say. It is about making sure that the way you share your information is in a way that that person, you're coming to them in a way they can understand it. You will absolutely catch more of what you're looking for by bringing it from a logical, spiritual, loving, kind way. So if you can recalibrate yourself to love and compassion and kindness before you have an interaction, this is going to do you so good as we move into Libra season. There's going to be a very powerful shift coming through the energy of the world right now, and we want to be the voice of understanding and compassion while still being the voice of change and elevation. And that's going to just be there. This is going to be introduced to us right now, but it's going to be a theme that you're going to see for the next year or so. So what would I do if I were you right now? I would look at, what do you want to make happen this fall? What is it that you want to complete this week, this month? Before the end of this month is the end of, crazy enough, the end of this quarter. And so as you do that, I encourage you to, what are you finishing before you go into October? And then what are you finishing by the end of the year? What do you want to accomplish in that fourth quarter of 2024? If you happen to go by calendar year to calendar year. And if you're looking at the big picture, you're going to see a new moon on November 1st. So if you follow the Celtic calendar, you're going to really see a deep, powerful transformation at Samhain or Halloween this year. On the actual 31st of October is our true dark moon, with a new moon directly following. So there will be a rebirth phase. There is always a phoenix transformation directly during or after an eclipse. And so you're going to see that with the 31st and 1st of October and November. So if you want to be supported in any way, I do have 2 coaching slots available. If you want to reach out and see if that might be a good time for you to get some help. If you're interested in coming and joining our Rainbow Children, which is now called the Inner Child class, I'm doing that here in Orlando, Florida next week. And if you're really looking for something amazing, I have this beautiful opportunity. My first Celtic Shamanism Immersion Workshop is happening over the weekend before Halloween or Samhain. And I'm going to be hosting that here in Orlando, Florida. It'll be a 2-day immersion here at my home by special invitation. So you have to actually get through a little bit of a talk with me process to be invited to come to that. But I do have plenty of slots available, and I do invite you to join us, because it's probably going to be the beginning. Actually, I know it's going to be the beginning of my next big program, which I'm going to be teaching, which is the Celtic Shamanism. And we'll be doing that in the next season. As the wheel of the year turns, that is my next big offering and teaching that I'll be bringing forward. It's been waiting. I know a lot of you have been looking for Celtic shamanism and fairy work for a long time, and it is time for me to actually say yes to that invitation. So let me know if I can be of service to you in that way. In the meantime, have a magical week. Take good care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others, because there is an eclipse coming. And so now is the time to get really clear, really gentle, and make sure you feel like you're in alignment with where you're going. And if not, recalibrate. So live magically, and I'll see you again next week.